Where's Gonzalez?
He didn't make it.
I have howled to warn the dead. A great warrior has joined them.
We'll remove those surgical implants immediately.
Lieutenant Monroe, Captain Picard is waiting for you in the observation lounge.
Good to see you, Monroe.
Welcome back, Munro.
Deck 1, bridge. The informant double-crossed us, and Ensign Gonzalez perished as a result.
Ensign Gonzalez made his choice with full knowledge of the potential consequences. You can't blame yourself. He made the ultimate sacrifice for what will save the lives of countless others.
Yes, sir. After analyzing the datapad that we recovered, we learned the location of the Master Control Facility. It's on the planet Tolochan 2.
Bridge, set a course for Tolochan 2, maximum warp.
Aye, sir.
You've been in action since you arrived. I want you to take some time off at the earliest convenience. I can't expect my crew to work at maximum efficiency without an opportunity to unwind.
Thank you, sir. I will. After Tolochan 2.
Very well. Lieutenant Commander Tuvok will be conducting a debriefing with you at 1800 hours.
Yes, sir.
And Lieutenant, good job down there. Dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
Alex, can you meet me in stellar cartography?
Hi, Monroe. Can we talk?
I'm going to contact Starfleet Command and inform them of our status.
You have come a long way since your days on Voyager, Lieutenant.
Hazard crew quarters.
None of the crew really understand the importance of pure research.
Research is the cornerstone of all theoretical studies.
It's how all theories are established.
I would have to agree.
Really? Why haven't I seen you on board the Enterprise before?
I've previously been posted on a research station in the Guernica system.
Was it exciting?
It was for a while, but I started to miss my time aboard Voyager.
You were on board Voyager in the Delta Quadrant? The unique flora you came across must have been incredible.
Well, yes, it was. In fact, I started researching how certain plant types were transplanted by Delta Quadrant species as they traveled between worlds. It was almost poetic how the different plant types interacted with each of the different species. I never published my findings, however.
Do you have your research here? Would you mind showing it to me? I would be most appreciative.
I could send it to you.
Maybe we could go somewhere more private and review your findings.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, maybe later?
Oh, no you don't. We need to talk about this now.
We do?
Yeah, we do. But it's a little crowded in here. Why don't we go back to your quarters to discuss this poetry of yours?
I miss Gonzalez.
So do I.
What a horrible, senseless way to die.
He was a good officer, and a good man.
Monroe,
Yes?
I'm glad that you made it out alive.
We're headed for Talachan 2, the command center of our Romulan friends. I'll make sure to let them know that the Hazard team doesn't appreciate losing one of its members.
Good. We need to teach them a lesson. One they won't forget.
Yeah.
We have seen too many doomsday weapons, and too many warlike leaders eager to use them. But today we have a rare opportunity, the chance to destroy one. Clear?
My people created the exomorphs for easy labor, but soon realized they were the ultimate weapon.
But doomsday weapons often turn on their masters. The exomorphs exterminated 95% of the Idril people. The few survivors fell into a dark age without science or literacy.
The Atrexians finally destroyed the exomorphs, and thought they'd destroyed the facilities. But the facilities repaired themselves and waited to be reactivated.
In revenge, the Atrexians covered up the truth about the Idril people and used them for cheap labor.
Just like the Idril used the exomorphs.
And just like the exomorphs, the Idril turned on their masters when they reactivated the facilities.
What was the weapon that the exomorphs used to destroy the Idril?
Intelligence. An exomorph called the Archaeopendra gained full sentience and took control.
The master control facility is in the neutral zone. What about the Romulans?
Best case, we destroy the facility quickly and leave undetected.
Worst case?
We convince the Romulans of the threat to both our people.
They may not believe it. They think everyone's as devious as they are.
Then we fight our way out of the neutral zone.
Either way, we destroy the Doomsday Weapon. Mr. Tuvok?
The Hazard team will split into 2 groups. Ensign Murphy will shuttle her team to the far side of the Romulan stronghold. Her assault will divert attention from Lieutenant Monroe's team as they transport near the entrance to the Master Control Facility. We expect heavy resistance from the renegade Romulan forces. We have modified your tricorders to allow you to call down orbital strikes from the Enterprise. Target an area, and the Enterprise will bombard it with phaser fire and quantum torpedoes. Use these strikes sparingly, as our torpedo supply is limited.
If this mission fails, the Romulans will have a first strike weapon that can tip the balance of power in the Alpha Quadrant. Good luck.
Monroe to Enterprise, we are proceeding to the mission objective.
Understood, Lieutenant.
Telsia to Monroe. During our attack, we sustained heavy damage to our port nacelles from the anti-spacecraft batteries. Our power levels are fluctuating. Sydney feels she can compensate, but we don't know for how long.
You've done all you can, Telsia. Get your team back to the Enterprise. Monroe out.
Yeah, I've been hit!
Looks bad. We need to get you out of here. Enterprise, evacuate Chell.
They will pay. There's another one. You can't stop us all! Snipers! Take cover! Perhaps today will be a good day to die!
Maybe tomorrow, Korben. Today, you're going back to the Enterprise. Enterprise, Korben has been hit. Get him out of here.
I refuse! Monroe!
of the Alpha Quadrant. You can't stop us all! can't stop us all!
Romulan ship uncloaking.
Hail them.
Federation vessel, you have violated the treaty by entering the neutral zone.
We entered under emergency conditions. We intend to destroy an Idril doomsday weapon called the Master Control Facility.
Explain yourself.
We're transmitting data about the weapon, and about an attempted coup within the Romulan government called the Empty Crown.
Exomorphs. Very interesting. But I have no fear of doomsday weapons in the right hands.
Only if your loyalty to war is greater than your loyalty to your people. This doomsday weapon destroyed the last empire that tried to wield it.
Just because the Idril couldn't control it doesn't mean we can't. Could it be that the great Captain Picard is finally afraid?
Afraid? Yes, I'm afraid. I fear for the Romulan people if you allow the Empty Crown to control the Empire.
I see. Commander Soldock reports that this Master Control Facility has no military purpose.
I suggest you test his veracity and his loyalty. Investigate the facility.
Very well. I will beam a team down to investigate your claims. But if you are wrong, Picard, you will have to answer for your incursion into the neutral zone.
And if I'm right, you will have a difficult decision to make. Lieutenant Monroe, the Romulans are sending down a task force to investigate Soldock's activities. While they may not be willing to assist you, they provide a helpful diversion.
Understood, sir. They're beaming in now.
Our answers lie within that complex. Let's go.
You will feel the wrath of the Empty Crown.
Return fire.
You can't stop us.
Destroy the rebels.
We are the future of the Alpha Quadrant.